Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bottom Line with Roni and Byron. We have some news to get to you. We're going to start with Jackson County Commissioners' plans to take FEMA to court.
And in national news, we'll talk about how 4 men were charged in the overdose of actor Michael K. Williams.
And then we'll give you the schedule for the upcoming playoff games for Jackson County schools, as well as surrounding counties.
And then for our Around the Town segment, we had the fortunate opportunity to talk to Dr. Jawan Clark of J. Clark Educational Enterprise, LLC.
And then we'll go to our relationship tea topic and discuss how do you balance your desires for your kids as opposed to theirs. So Byron, let's get to it. We're going to start with Jackson County Commissioners' plans to take FEMA to court. They are not happy with the way FEMA has responded in the last 3 years. Since Hurricane Michael, apparently FEMA have not come through with their promises on the money they are supposed to be giving the county for debris cleanup. So it's been 3 years, Byron, and the commissioners are not happy, and they're saying they're supposed to have gotten like $70 million, and then FEMA cut it to $40 million, and then down to $800,000. So that's a big jump from $70 million to $800,000. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, it got me questioning, and what happened in the application or the process where they decided to drop and then drop again? Was it in the filing process? Was it something that they it kind of got me thinking, because I'm a big proponent of proper planning permits, what performance. So did on our end, on the county's end, was it a hiccup that never got corrected, and so FEMA just started dropping what they would pay for, or what? But it's getting a stretch from Hurricane Michael. I mean, it's how many years has it been now?
3.
And yeah, it's been 3 years. So I mean, I'm happy to see that they're trying to really get some footing on this, but eventually that well is gonna run dry if we don't get something done. But it's kind of got it kind of got me thinking, what why all of a sudden, what's the reasoning behind them deciding to cut the funding so deep like that?
I don't know, but it sounds like well, I'll just say Commissioner Peacock has been quoted saying that FEMA came in and promised everything and delivered nothing. So apparently they were supposed to be getting this money to repair the damage that was done to the roads it's by Hurricane Michael, and have not received what they were supposed to receive. So it sounds like the commissioners, it doesn't sound like it's a matter of filing or paperwork. It just seems like, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of FEMA. I'll just come out and say it. Just personally, some personal experience, they did not come through for several people that I know of, including myself. So I can see them being upset with if FEMA came in saying they're supposed to get, this amount and they did not deliver, then that's disheartening. And that is a way to.
Well, if that's common practice, then that makes sense. But one thing I do know, if you've got the documentation, if you got the proof, it's going to be hard for FEMA to kind of wiggle their way out of that one. It's just the process of going through the whole legalities of it. That's the only thing. It may draw it out for another 3 years. You never know. But I hope they stick to the guns to the fire and stay fighting to make FEMA stick to the promises that they originally made. But if this is something common, maybe they'll, hopefully they'll get some ground on it. But I don't like that either. You say you're gonna do something, do it.
Exactly. So I'm kind of siding with the commissioners on this one. So, but we'll keep our eye on it. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to move to the next story, which I want to give an update on our COVID numbers. COVID-19 seems to have plateaued. I should say not plateaued, but peaked in this area. And this is the reason why, Byron. I got this from the health department. It seems as though the week of January the 14th through January the 20th, as they predicted, that was the highest, number or time frame for COVID after the holidays. So now the numbers are declining. I'll give you some numbers. So the week of January the 14th through the 20th, it was the new cases was 995. Okay. And the positivity rate was 40.1. Well, Byron, you're happy to know January 28th through February the 3rd, we're down the new cases 477 and positivity rate is 26.1. So we are on the decline. We're very grateful for that. So the numbers should continue to decline. We have to make sure that we understand that, they figured that after the holidays, it would just, kind of spiral out of control, but it's good to see that the numbers have peaked and we're on decline. Currently, Byron, there's only 25 people. I shouldn't say only, but there are 25 people currently in Jackson Hospital and 2 on ventilators. And that's is of yesterday's date. Okay. So I want to give you that update. Want to make sure that we know that local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located in Marianna on Caledonia Street. You may call T.D. Horn and his staff and get any type of property insurance, business insurance, life insurance, any type of insurance that you may need. You may also reach them at 850-633-3460 and let them know that you heard us here on Bottom Line with Roni and Byron talking about their business. So again, Byron, want to make sure that everybody understands that we are on a decline in numbers for COVID-19. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. I'm happy to hear that because it got me when it got to me. I said, well, I'm good now, but yeah, I thought I was gonna dodge. I'm blaming it on the dog. I hadn't been nowhere, and I catch COVID. But that's a good news to see this on the decline. I guess everybody said, well, we got to get Byron, and then we'll start getting it on up out of here.
We're glad you beat it and came away with no major issues. So good to hear that. Yeah. All right. Again, want to make sure everybody knows. Contact T.D. Horn and his staff at Brightway Insurance. They're located at 2867 Caledonia Street in Marianna, and you can reach them at 850-633-3460. Make sure you contact them for all of your insurance needs. What do you have for national news, Byron?
Okay, so for national, before I get into my story, I want to talk about people that organizations or business that care about you. People's Funeral Home, because they care, they're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Marianna and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. The caring staff is available 24/7, and when the need arises, their services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. Again, that's 850-482-2233, or simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home. So the first story I want to talk about, 4 men were charged in the overdose of actor Michael K. Williams. I know him best for his character Omar on the series The Wire. But he's played in many movies since then. But 4 men believed to be members of a drug distribution crew. They were actually charged with, I think it was narcotics conspiracy. Narcotics conspiracy was the actual charge. So basically, they sold him drugs it was heroin that was laced with fentanyl. So because they laced these drugs with fentanyl is hence why they can get them charge them with the narcotics conspiracy. And they have footage and evidence showing that they were still selling the same drugs even after Mr. Williams was found dead, and knowing that he was found dead as a result to the drugs that they were selling. So hopefully this brings a conviction, and if it does, then this will set a precedence for those that are out selling drugs that may be laced with fentanyl or any other drug that would automatically bring death. So let that be. Hopefully this will come out, and hopefully something positive comes out of it. He was 54 when he died, and that was astonishing for me, because I was like, man, I kind of felt like Kevin Hart on that interview with Don Cheadle. I was like, man, 54, he looked great for 54. But yeah, it was sad to see him go, and hopefully, like I said, they get a conviction out of these charges.
So, good.
So, in my next story, it's kind of I'm lining up 2-3 stores together to kind of get the people and get our viewers to seeing what is kind of on the horizon with the economy. So Amazon has raised its prices for Amazon Prime as profits jump. Amazon is raising the price of Prime service for U.S. customers after reporting record sales and profits. So they're actually going up by 17% to $139 for annual membership. Now, the firm they're citing increased wages and shipping costs and said that they had no announcement to make about other countries. But so U.S. Citizens that are Prime members, it's gonna go up. And they haven't had an increase since 2018. Now, if I fast forward to the next store, Starbucks is raising its prices to offset costs. So they're citing it based on labor shortages, coronavirus related restrictions in China, things of that such, but they're actually raising their prices. So citing inflation and all of that. So if you notice now, Facebook has they're taking a big loss Friday with the metaverse that they're trying to implement with Facebook, and they've taken a big hit in the stock market. Even Zuckerberg, he's taking a big loss as well. So now you're starting to notice these businesses are basically going to put their losses and even their profits, when you look at Amazon's case, onto the consumer. So inflation, we've got the Fed actually saying that they're going to bring the interest rates are going to go back up probably as soon as March. And so be prepared. So start to find some alternatives. If you're crazy about Starbucks, I suggest, hey, get you a Keurig, do something, get you an alternative to get your caffeine fix. If you was always on Amazon, you might have to take a break from Prime for a little bit, but start to make those adjustments, because it's coming. It's coming. That coronavirus, back when everybody was back and they was still trying to get your business, now your business is coming back and things are going to go up. So I just say be prepared.
What's the percentage, Byron? What's the percentage that is going up? Do you know?
As far as the interest rates?
Yes.
They haven't said yet, but they're basically, that stretch where, things was dropped down to like 2%. And even in some cases, people, home ownership and home loans was down to like 1%. I want to say that they're going to start at like 3.5%, but I'll double down and get that info.
What about Starbucks? How much are they going up?
Starbucks, in the store, it's not saying how much they're increasing, but they're basically making their claim that fast food prices have also shot up by 8% since 2021. So they're in a way, they're kind of saying it but not saying it, like everybody else raising their prices. We raising our prices too. But in this, they're citing rising inflation, supply chain disruptions, and increasing labor costs. But it looks like and this is what happens, we see it in the opposite end when it comes to vehicles transitioning to charging, electric cars and electric vehicles, because that technology has been around for a very long time. But it's like, if one business does it and starts to, make a big benefit, then everybody's doing it. So if one gas station in your area, lowers the price or raises the price, then everybody's going to start raising it. And this is
that's
where
how it's done. It's like a domino effect. So,
it's a domino effect. And that's how understand how the economy works. When they notice what you're willing to spend and with no problem, then everybody's going to do the same thing. So
I just think if one raises up prices, just hold tight. Yeah.
Supply and demand. That's how it works. So look for those alternatives, and until you're, if you're able, then fine. But don't break the bank trying to go and get Starbucks every day. You may have to find another alternative.
You can just go and get some Swiss. That's what I use.
Hey, I'm good with the dollar store, the Clover Valley brand. I'm good with that. Swiss
with the marshmallows, so I gotta have the Swiss with the marshmallow. But I'm good with that. It's not that expensive. The last I checked. Yeah. All right. Good.
So that's it for national. Before I step away, I want to talk about People's Funeral Home. Because they care, they're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that are within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 or when the need arises. So the services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. Please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233, 850-482-2233, or please simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home.
All right, we'll switch to sports and give the schedule. Byron, the teams are getting ready and trying to for playoffs headed to Lakeland for championship games. So we're going to start by giving what's going to happen this upcoming week. Graceville will play Holmes County in Graceville. That will be on Monday at 7 p.m. The winner of that game will go on to play Poplar Springs on the next day, Tuesday. So that's the 1A District 2. Graceville is in that bracket. And then we're going to move to Cottondale. Cottondale actually plays Chipley on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. That game is in Cottondale. And then also on Tuesday, Atha is at Sneeds. Atha will play Sneeds at 6 o'clock in Sneeds. And then the winner of the Cottondale and Chipley game will face Malone on Wednesday. So got to keep that in mind. So on Tuesday, you have Chipley and Cottondale, and then you have Atha and Sneeds in Sneeds. And then the winner of the Cottondale Chipley game will play Malone on Wednesday. All right. Also, and then that leaves only school left in Jackson County is Mariana. Mariana will play Rutherford on Tuesday in Mariana, and that game is at 7 o'clock. So we'll keep an eye out on all of those and hope for the best for all of our teams here locally that will continue to advance on and hopefully make it to district and make it beyond that to the state in Lakeland.
Yeah.
All right, so good luck to all those teams. Now I want to go on and move on and say congratulations to Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly was hired as the assistant general manager for the Las Vegas Raiders. So Champ Kelly is a native of Campbellton. And I had a chance to actually speak to one of his close friends, Art Kimbrough here. And Byron, we're going to have Champ Kelly on the show. Closer it gets to his camp. He has a camp every year. It's in Panama City. It's called the Champ Camp, and it's a football camp. And he's agreed to come on the show and talk about that the closer it gets to June. So
sweet.
Yeah, very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to that. But I asked Art, what did Kelly say when he was hired as the assistant GM? And he just said that he was, God is good, and he was very humble at the opportunity. So
that's great. Hey, don't sleep on Las Vegas, and they've just gotten a new coach. So it looks, they really didn't have much, other than, getting a good head coach. I mean, a lot of the key elements were there. So now with a good assistant GM, hey, you never know. You never know. Don't sleep on Las Vegas. So.
Well, and we're going to talk about Las Vegas a little bit later, just the city as a whole, how it's, has a football team, NFL team since 2020. So we'll talk about that a little later. But congratulations again to Champ Kelly. And then I'm going to move on more regarding the NFL. We know that there's a lawsuit that Brian Flores has filed against the NFL for racial discrimination. We all know that there's only one head football coach in the NFL, and that's Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the story is Brian Flores was supposed to be interviewing for who?
Was it the Giants?
The New York Giants, exactly. And then before he had the interview, there were some text messages that went forth between him and Bill Belichick. Belichick is the head coach for the New England Patriots. So I'm going to just kind of read you how this went. Okay, so this is text messages. Belichick, said, sounds like you have landed. Congrats. Brian Flores says, did you hear something I didn't hear? And then Belichick says, the Giants. He's writing this, okay? And then, of course, Flores says, I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it. Belichick goes, I got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York Giants that you are their guy. Hope it works out for you if you want it. And then, of course, Flores says, they're definitely what I want. Hope you're right, coach. Thank you. And then here's the catch. Flores says, coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Dabble? Just making sure. Belichick says, sorry, I explicit this up. I double checked and I misread the text. I think that you are naming Detroit. I think you are naming Dabo. I'm sorry about that. So Belichick messed up. He was thinking he was talking to Brian Dabble, and he was actually talking to Brian Flores. And at that point, Brian Flores had not interviewed the Giants. So there you go, Brian.
Yeah. So that gives credit to his point that they never had any intentions.
Right.
And I hate to put it out there, but as a Black person in America, there's nothing uncommon, to use a face or the optics as if you're going to give a qualified person a shot that's Black or a minority or a woman, but with all the intentions of hiring someone else, and not even and take race aside from it, even folks that maybe they see friends or they see some fraternization or some nepotism go on, and they go through the whole dance or the interview getting excited. They know that they're highly qualified, but somebody was already picked before you even showed up, and you just got used as a pawn to say, hey, yeah, we had a pool of people we interviewed and we picked the best quote unquote candidate.
Well, they try to satisfy the Rooney Rule as well. That you have to interview a certain amount of African American coaches.
And the thing is with Brian Flores is, I didn't understand why the Dolphins fired him anyway, because he had 2 winning seasons.
Back to back.
Yeah, so it's I can understand the frustration, and I've heard arguments where when the points being made about why there are not any Black coaches, and there's a lot to pull from, prior to maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, where there wasn't many applicants, there wasn't many Black coaches trying to be coaches, but now you don't have an excuse and to sit there and just keep on and keep it. Nobody's looking for a handout, but man,
a chance, an opportunity. Yeah. Right. But
you got 30-year-old coaches, 30-year-old coaches. What have they done?
Right.
So if you can give them an opportunity, you definitely give somebody that's been in the game, and he actually coached under Belichick. Brian Flores did.
Right.
So
but isn't that kind of crazy how Belichick says, I think they're naming Brian Dabble. I'm sorry.
Have you seen the viral? It's a post that went viral where the internet is always undefeated, where somebody put no, white Brian, not Black Brian. So yeah, that was one of the moments where he just stuck his foot in. That's gotta suck to even go through that, but it makes his point, and hopefully
also part of that is the fact that when Flores was in Miami, he is saying that he was asked to basically lose games and was offered $100,000 to do that, so they can, get
a higher draft pick.
Exactly. Yeah, so, yeah. It's just, it's crazy, but yeah.
I hate it for Miami, because I've been hoping for Miami even when, with Dan Marino, but it's like, I don't know, but the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, so anything is possible. But Miami is the organization. And that's the problem with NFL. It's not like any other business. You've got owners, and like the Roger Goodell, he actually works for the owners. He doesn't work for the NFL. So it's kind of hard to police them, because they have to be policed themselves. Right. So it's one of them. It's one of those things where you don't know if there's ever going to be a real real teeth behind this, you know. So,
but listen to this. There's another piece of this too. He is claiming, Flores is claiming that in 2019, when he interviewed for the head coach for the Broncos, that John Elway came in the interview toasted.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying. So all of that is in the lawsuit.
so he's throwing everything.
Completely disheveled and an hour late. So he's putting everything out there. Of course, people are denying this, but you know, why would this guy come out and say all this stuff and it's not true?
It looks like, I mean, he looks like you know how it is. Once a man get tired and once a man gets fed up,
I'm just gonna tell it all.
It's coming out. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. It looks like he's had a career and he's just fed up and he's ready to throw it all out there. So
we'll keep an eye on that and see how that plays out. But I'd also want to mention the NFL too. That did you know the Washington former Redskins changed their name this week to Washington Commanders? So that's the new name, the Washington Commanders. So I want to make sure people know that. And so this week the Pro Bowl is taking place in Las Vegas. We mentioned Las Vegas earlier, and so fortunately we've had a chance to talk to Brian Salmon, who is a sports anchor for News 3 Las Vegas, the NBC affiliate in Las Vegas. So I had a chance to catch up with him and asked him about the Pro Bowl and to explain the Pro Bowl to us. And this is how it went. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show. We have Brian Salmon from News 3 Las Vegas. We are happy to have you to give us an update and basically just tell us what's going on with the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas.
Well, as you know, the 2022 Pro Bowl is here in Las Vegas, which is it's huge. I mean, the fact that Las Vegas got themselves a professional franchise with the hockey team, and then we got the Las Vegas Raiders. They opened up Allegiant Stadium, which you can kind of see a little bit here on the inside with my little background here. But yeah, they have Allegiant Stadium, and that means that the NFL is trying to bring whatever they can to Las Vegas to kind of take advantage of this market. And the first thing that we are getting, and we have got, is the Pro Bowl, which is great. I mean, the Pro Bowl was in Hawaii, it was in Florida, and now it's here in Las Vegas. And the people here and the NFL couldn't be any happier.
I think that's awesome. I know that the Pro Bowl moved from Hawaii in 2017. That's when it moved to Orlando. Do you know why that happened?
Why they moved? I think because they didn't want to have people have to fly all the way over. You know, and they have the Wide World of Sports in Orlando, that big facility. You know, it's still somewhat of a vacation for the players and their families and whatnot. So I think that's probably why they took it to Florida. And then as far as coming to Vegas, who doesn't want to come to Las Vegas?
That's true. That's true. So let's talk about the Pro Bowl itself. So what's happening? I know they had the skills competition on Thursday. So did you cover any of that?
Yeah. No, I was out there for the skills competition, and the way that they did it, they actually filmed it, shot it on Wednesday. So when it aired on Thursday, it aired pre-tape. So I was out there on Wednesday for it live, and I don't know if you could tell by what you saw on television, but it was so cold. It was so cold. It was like 30 degrees out there in the players.
Oh yeah, Florida weather.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Las Vegas had been beautiful for the past couple weeks. It was 65 degrees. And then all of a sudden, when they got out here, it dropped down to 35 degrees. I was out there, for the skills competition, which was great. But it was, people were leaving because it was so cold. It was so cold.
So, Brian, tell us who all you saw that day.
I mean, there's everyone that's in the skills competition was there. You know what I mean? As far as from the receivers, the Mahomeses, the Tyreek Hills. I mean, anyone you can think of that's competing in the Pro Bowl was out there. So I mean, it was basically a who's who of players. So I mean that's cool. But I mean, just the fact that they had it they held it in a baseball stadium. So the skills competition was in it was in a baseball stadium, Las Vegas Ballpark, so they call it, it was voted as the best baseball ballpark in the country, including Major League ballparks for the past 2 years. It's only 2 years old. So they converted it to a football field, and that's where they held the skills competition. Pretty cool.
Okay. So give the viewers an overview of what the Pro Bowl is. So most people, some people may not know, what is it actually?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Tell us what the Pro Bowl is, because some people may not understand the concept or what it's all about, or what the
What the
hype is
Pro
about.
Bowl is?
Yeah.
I mean, the Pro Bowl is basically it's the NFL All-Star game. So the same thing as like the NBA, they have an All-Star game. The Pro Bowl is an All-Star game for the NFL. So they come out here. The skills competition where guys are catching balls, like jumping off of trampolines and catching balls and running 40 times. That is similar to, say, the NBA in the three-point contest and their skills competition and the dunk contest. So I mean, they do that. So that's their skills day, and then the actual Pro Bowl is an actual game where Pat Mahomes will be on the same team as Cooper Kupp. I guess that's AFC and NFC, but you kind of get the gist. I mean, he'll be on the same team as someone else as an All-Star game, and they played here in Las Vegas. So the only thing about it, it's similar to like an NBA game where they're not going to be tackling each other as hard. They're going to be trying to kill everybody just to put on the show.
All right, so Brian, I just, I think it's awesome that it's in Vegas. You guys are now looking at, you have the Pro Bowl, you have the draft coming up there in April, and then in 2 years, you're going to have the Super Bowl. So you're going to be able on track to have all three events in your city. How's that?
No, I mean, that's sweet. I mean, the NFL is the biggest sports organization in our country, and to have all of that set up, we were actually supposed to have the draft a couple of years right before COVID hit, and they ended up canceling that. So now Las Vegas will have all three of those events here, and basically because we have that new stadium, I mean, that's really opened up everything for the NFL to come here and like college football games and everything else.
Yeah, I think it's great. So what else you're covering? And today, this weekend, are you actually going to the Pro Bowl on tomorrow, Sunday?
Yeah, Pro Bowl will be there. That's at noon on Sunday, Pacific Standard Time.
Which is 2 hour time. It's 2 hour time. Yes. Clock. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. The NHL All-Star game is on Saturday. So today. So we got that. And then there's a fight Saturday night as well. So
so where will you be? At all that, where will you be? What events
I'm
are you
going to go to all of them.
I'm just
trying to go to all of them. I'll go to the NHL All-Star game, and then I'll go to the fight, because the fight, probably like the main event, won't happen until probably 9 o'clock. So I'll check that out, and then the Pro Bowl, which it stands on its own on Sunday. That's gonna be nice. Like, I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, good. Well, you have to send us some shots from there so we can post them on our Facebook page. So, Brian, thank you so much for joining Bottom Line with Roni Byron. Really appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Ross. I appreciate it.
So again, the Pro Bowl is this week on ESPN. It starts at 2 o'clock on Sunday, and you can see all your favorite NFL players on one field this Sunday. So tune in. Byron, I want to make sure that people know the Super Bowl is next week. So I'm going to take my pick. I'm going to pick the Rams. I'm going to remind everybody that I picked. Who did I pick? Cincinnati.
Hey, I was going to say it for you. I was going to say, if anybody do you need to call Ross, just tell her, just give me some numbers. Just give me some random numbers. You know what I'm saying? Go and whatever her pick is, ride with it, because she's undefeated. She's on a roll. I got to give her credit for it.
The winner of the Super Bowl will be the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, that's my pick.
I ain't got nothing, because I'm shooting bad. Every time I say something, I'm like, I'm gonna just keep it quiet. Just Ronnie got it.
All right. Well, what do we have next? We'll move on to our Around the Town. What do you have?
Yeah, so Around the Town, myself and Ronnie, we had a great opportunity to sit and talk with Dr. Jawan Clark of J. Clark Educational Enterprises, LLC. Great man, great gentleman, and it was a pleasure. We and please pay attention to this interview, folks of Jackson County, because he's got some great resources and services. So tune in. Here we go. Around the Town.
our Around the Town segment today, we have a special guest, Juwan Clark, who's the owner of J. Clark Educational Enterprises. Welcome to the show, Juwan.
Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Now tell us exactly what does your company do?
So our company, J. Clark Educational Enterprises, we do a few things. We offer educational support for the school districts. We offer tutoring services for parents, for students in the K-12 system. We do homeschool pupil evaluations for students who are homeschooled that need certified educators to evaluate their portfolios. So a lot of different educational services that parents may need, advocacy as well. If parents need support in the schools when it comes down to understanding their students' educations, maybe IEPs, we provide that support as well. So pretty much anything in the educational arena, we're here to help meet those educational needs.
And what is your age group?
So we go all the way down to pre-K, around 4 years old, and we kind of top out right about 18. We do a little bit of college level, but not a lot of college. It's more so the K-12 system.
Okay. So, Dr. Clark, I was wanting to know how many tutors do you actually have, or staff you have on deck to help you out?
So we currently we're running about 18 tutors.
Wow.
We typically run. We have two different locations. We use Chipola College here in the School of Education, as we've partnered with Chipola, and it basically allows the students here at Chipola who desire to be teachers, allows them to have an opportunity to work in the field before they become teachers and get a lot of hands-on experience, differentiating instruction, analyzing data, meeting the diverse needs of those students. And then, like I said, we operate here out of Mariana and Chipola College. And then we also have a location in Gracefield, which is our actual home location. And then we have our virtual campus as well.
Okay, that was what I was going to follow up with is during the pandemic and everybody kind of got more astute, as you will, with virtual and internet. And I was going to ask if you had that capacity. But this is quite interesting to know that this service is provided in Jackson County. Now, my next question would be: I know you provide this for definitely for Jackson County for the school district, but are you open to any other school districts to be able to provide the same service to?
Oh yes, absolutely. We've tutored, especially virtually. We've reached out. We've had students from Bay County. We've had students from Gainesville, Jacksonville, Tampa. The virtual component, it really allows for us to really expand our reach. We've had some students from Fayetteville, Georgia, in which we're also now looking to expand out to Fayetteville currently now as well. So, we're definitely open to just serving students. That's our desire, is to really make a difference in the impact of the lives of others. Not just limited just to Jackson County, but just the world at large.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Because that's what I was going to tell Ronnie. I mean, hey, look, I've got 5 myself, 2 sets of twins, so I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you, and because if anything we've learned over this past 2 years is that not enough credit has been given due to our educators, to our teachers out there, because as much as we love to play the Monday, the backseat quarterback, once we got our hands in on it, man, it is extremely difficult to try, to play that role, and we need that extra help. And it's great to see that somebody like yourself is creating that avenue for us to be able to get that assistance that we need, because us parents, we tried. I know Ronnie can attest, we tried.
Exactly.
We tried.
But, we are currently using his services right now, Byron.
Oh, okay.
We're currently using
you holding
service.
all the secrets. You holding everything to yourself.
we just began. That's why he's on the show. Because me, once I know something, I always share it. So we just begun to use the services, and so far it's been very helpful, and we will continue to use his services. So Dr. Clark, I want to ask you, where are your tutors from? Shed some light on that, like areas.
Got you. So our tutors, they come from all over. We have some tutors that are from here in Mariana. We have some that are from Washington County. We have some that live in Dothan, some in Holmes County. You know, they're from all over. We have one who's waiting to get back with us. She was a previous student here at Chipola. She was a phenomenal tutor while she was here. She does a lot of virtual for me as well. And she's actually out of state now. And I reached out to her and spoke with her the other day. And she was like, hey, if you got anybody that wants to be tutored virtually, just let me know. I would love to get back with you.
That's awesome.
They're all over.
We are currently using the virtual option, Byron. So like I said, it's worked out great. Working out great for us. Now, Dr. Clark, let me ask you this. So what subjects do you offer tutoring services in?
So generally, pretty much all subject areas. A lot of the higher levels, those subjects are real limited, just because that's a very, very high need area that a lot of students are in need of. And with dealing with like your chemistries and your algebra ones and your geometries, we try to partner those students up with our schools of ed students who are actually majoring in those fields. So you don't get a elementary education tutor trying to tutor in algebra. And so those types of subjects are based on the availability of those tutors at that time. And so to answer that question, we tutor pretty much every subject area. Is just based on the availability at that moment.
Okay. All right, great. And this tell us, where can we find more information about your services? Give the audience that information.
Oh, yes, ma'am. So the best place to find that information, if you'll visit our website at jclarkeducates.com, you'll have a full list of all the services that we offer. You can also find us on Facebook. And we have a business Facebook page as well, J. Clark Educational Enterprises, LLC. We have a lot of information there, and you can feel free to email me. You can contact us through the website as well, but my direct email that comes to me is jclarkeducation1@gmail.com. And I love email communication, but generally, if you email me at some point in time, I'm going to call you because I love that personal interaction. So, feel free to contact us at any moment.
Well, speaking of you, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, because you know how it is, brother. You got to get the credentials. Your folks, well, what is this they got going on? So give us the credentials. They gotta know.
Right. Exactly. So I am a fully Florida certified teacher. I graduated from Chipola College in 2010 with my bachelor's in elementary education. I have a certification I have a reading endorsement. I'm ESOL endorsed as well. I have a physical education endorsement. I'm certified in middle grades English 5.9. Also certified. I have educational leadership as well. I've been a previous principal in Jackson County as well. My master's is in ed leadership. My specialist degree and my PhD is in curriculum and instruction. So I am extremely certified in the area of curriculum and instruction, in which all of our tutoring services, especially, the curriculum that's implemented in those sessions, I make sure I oversee, structure out all of that. So that way I make sure that all curriculum that's being delivered, it is in line with standards. It's in line with what the students are learning in the school. We're not just going off and just pulling things out of the air. Everything is mainstreamed, and that's something that I personally oversee.
That's good. That is good. Now, you mentioned something that you, as far as being a principal, Byron, he used to be the assistant principal and the principal, right, at Graceville High. Is that right? I remember.
Outstanding.
Yeah. And then when he left, we were really kind of, it was bittersweet. We was glad to see him move on to Chipola, but we hate to see him leaving us at the Jackson County School District. So, but I'm so happy that you are flourishing, and I'm happy that you basically has established this resource for our kids, because a lot of kids, I'm going to say we were kind of struggling, like, who can we get to help? And I totally forgot. I will admit, I said this to you, Dr. Clark. I totally forgot. And Byron, Dr. Clark was a classmate of my brother who passed in 2006. They were classmates. They were very good friends. And so I've known Duane for a very long time.
That's great. That's outstanding. And that's what I was telling him offline. I had shouts out to assistant principal at Malone School, Brian Hardy. He had told me, weeks back, hey, you need to get in contact with him because you guys are you're like kindred spirits. And I was like, I've been intending to get with you, brother. And when Ronnie told me you're gonna be on the segment, I was like, hey, it just the stars aligned. It's like
Right.
and it just worked out perfect. And it's a lot of different things that I've been trying to work on. And like I say, this is great because I'm telling you, I'm definitely going to be reaching out for your services because, like I said, I've got, this past pandemic, it was like I had 3 classrooms going. I had K3, 4th grade, and 5th grade all going at the same time, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I,
Well, I'm telling you,
if I got a
Byron,
duo, it'll work. But just me by myself, oh no, I can't do it.
give him a call, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that this service is available to you and it's very reasonable. And so I want to make sure we push this
Mhm.
because a lot of parents are in the same position I was, just kind of like you're trying to find somebody and trying to get on their schedule, and it's kind of how difficult, and you just at your wits end. But I found the resource and I want to share it. So Byron, you make sure you get your kids on the schedule. And is there anything else, Dr. Clark, we need to say or you want to share with our audience?
Sure. One thing I would like to express, definitely want to thank you, Ronnie, and thank you, Byron, for inviting me on this segment. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to share my heart and my passion with everyone. And I just want to express how much we are humbled to be able to serve the community. That's our whole focus. Our whole goal is to empower the students, empower the parents, equip them with the knowledge that they need as well to allow their students to be able to flourish. So if there's anything that we can do to help support, please feel free to give us a call, email. We would definitely get with you, reach out to you, and see how can we meet your educational needs.
Great. Once again, that's J. Clark Educational Enterprises. That's www.jclarkeducates.com. That's www.jclarkeducates.com. You can find them on Facebook at J. Clark Enterprises LLC. And you can email Mr. Clark, Dr. Clark at jclarkeducation1@gmail.com. So we're going to have it on right there so you can get that information and reach out to them ASAP. All right.
But we thank you for joining us, Dr. Clark, and I will be seeing you real soon.
All right, sounds great. You have a great day.
You too.
All right, brother.
All right, that was great. A lot of information. As I said in the interview, we're using his services. I want to encourage everybody to reach out to him. Byron has information on the screen, so please reach out to Dr. Clark and his staff to get the assistance that you need for your school-age child.
Yeah. And once again, all our viewers out there and our supporters, make sure you know someone, a business, whatever service, vendor, anything, get in contact with us because we want to reach and give them as much exposure as we possibly can. Right?
That's right. That's right. All right. Now we're going to move on to our relationship T segment. And today we're going to talk some tough questions. Parents, how do you balance your desires for your children versus their desires? And I'm going to specifically talk about if you have a kid who really wants to play sports, but you want them to be in the drama club. So how do you balance it out? Who wins? What do you do?
Yeah, so that's a tough one for me. Now I'm to be clear. I don't feel like obligated or pressure to create another athlete. I mean, I was into all sports, football, basketball, baseball. The older I got, football was my thing because I could get a lot of aggression out. I loved it. But at the same time, I want my kids to, it's hard because they're so into TikTok and social media, but to get them to explore their minds and to, figure out what it is that they like and that they want to do. Because when they go to college, so often we see people that will spend, 6-year, 8-year degrees, and they'll have a doctorate in psychology, and next thing you know, they have a bakery shop. Or, you know, they'll spend a lot of time going to school and they end up doing something that they really love. So, you know, I want them to really take the time through their adolescence and high school to just explore and find out what it is they like, and then go to school for that. But I am a competitive person at the end of the day, so I have my kids in the sports, and I sat down with them to talk to them about it, because like I said, I'm a competitive person. If I'm gonna have you in basketball, I'm gonna have you in football, then I'm gonna have you out there doing. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right, and you're gonna give it 100%. But yeah, I ain't gonna spend. I ain't gonna spend all my money. You know what I'm saying, to do all this stuff, and you just gonna sit around and not do it. You're gonna compete, and I just want them to have a physically fit life, be in shape. Learn the benefits of having a body that's in shape, but at the same time, I want them to. So it's a hard balance, because a lot of times our kids they look to us, to be proud of them, for that support, and you don't want that to get lost. I'm happy no matter what you do, but you might see me happy when you make a score or something, but that doesn't mean that daddy wants you to play basketball. So it's a hard one, and my kids are like, they're just like me, but they're different, and they're not me. And for a lot of parents out there, we have to remember that they're their own individual person. So they're not you. And if you wanted to go pro or semi-pro and you missed that shot, but if they have that passion for whatever, then I'm behind them 1,000%. I don't care what it is, you know what I'm saying? So it's a hard balance, but
it is. I will say that when you're looking at your kids, you want them to do better than you. You want them to have more opportunities than you had, and you want them to take advantage of the opportunities that you may not even knew about, but you're aware now. So you're wanting to make sure that your kid has every opportunity to be the best, and to experience, different things. So I think for me, that's where my desire maybe, can overlap, because I'm like, well, I didn't have this when I was, when I was a kid. Hey. I didn't have this opportunity. So you need to take advantage of this opportunity. That's what my battle is. Cause I'm like, I guess I'm seeing it like, man, these are great opportunities that I had no knowledge of, or I didn't have the chance to even participate in. So you should do this. And I have to, step back and say, well, do you want to do this? Here's an opportunity. So I try to balance it that way. Like, here's some opportunities. Are you okay with this? Do you want to do it? Are you interested? So I try to be aware, but it is hard, because my first instinct is like, oh my goodness, I didn't have this. So you need to do this,
Yeah, for me, it's like abilities. Like my son, he has abilities that I didn't have, what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, like baseball, I was good, but he's a dinger. He could hit it, if the harder you throw, he'll hit him. And I was like, that was where I kind of, wasn't good at, or he's bigger than I was. So it's like, but at the same time, I find myself where people automatically assume because he's a big kid, he's supposed to be playing ball. That doesn't, he could be anything. He don't have to be a ball player. But it's just like when I see those abilities, and I'm like, man, and he has that talent, but it's not his passion. You have kids, you've seen them, they don't have anything, but they'll be out the door all day, with that basketball or with that football, and you like, nobody has to push them, nobody has to motivate them. It's their passion. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like when you see your child has an ability that is like, wow, and they're like, that's I like it. It's all right, but you're like, well, why don't you just try it out a little bit more, just you might like it, but it's not that you want them to do that. It's you kind of get caught up in it, and it's confusing for a kid, because their biggest thing is social, is
having fun.
And trying to be liked and be, find themselves and what personality they're gonna be. It's a lot. So mom and dad try not to put too much on them, and we get it.
But I think that the balance to that is introducing them to several things. So then you can kind of just I mean, for me, I knew what Keislan at a young age was good at. I recognized it. I introduced her to several things, and so I said, oh, okay, she's good at that. Okay, she's really good at this. She's just okay with that. So I tried to really guide her to the things that I saw that she was stronger at. So I did do that. And because they don't know. So but when I saw that, oh, you may not be, that great at that.
That may not be your thing, yeah.
Yeah, you may want to kind of veer over here, take a look at this. So I did that. And so for me, I think that's where parents have to kind of find the balance. Like you may have been good at basketball, but your kid is better at baseball.
Yeah.
So
now beyond that, math, that's his thing. Building, that's his thing. Legos, I mean, you could buy like the biggest adult version complex Lego set. He'll put it together in like a day or two.
So he's more of that than sports.
All of my kids, they got something specific that they're just like, you give it to them and they won't, they and that's, like you said, that's kind of been my, my guiding light to kind of say, hey, have you ever thought about, because as parents, you can see what's the next stage to the next, for what it is they're into, and what they have that just natural. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to tell them to do it. They just automatically into it and they locked in. And don't forget the arts. Sometimes a lot of times we get kind of caught up in conventional professions, but don't forget the arts. Don't forget art and poetry and public speaking. Yeah, if they got a lot of mouth and they love that might be your next thespian. You never know.
I think that's the thing that parents really have to be in tune to. And I think for me, it's sad when I see kids with talent and I'm like, well, where are the parents? The parents are totally clueless.
Yeah.
What that kid's natural skill set is.
Yeah.
And so the parent is not even in tune, not even, aware, not even paying attention. They're just kind of, sometimes parents use different organizations or as babysitters. So you're just getting them out of the house. Well, you should not be doing that.
When
you're involved with kids in sports and organizations or clubs, whatever, you know what, be in tune to see if they like it, if they're good at it, or if they don't just shove them off on somebody else because you need a break or you need a babysitter. That's cool. So it's like you got those parents on this end of the spectrum, then you got on the other opposite end, you got the parents that's trying to make them do what they want to do when they was a kid. So baby, they're kind of living their life through them. So
through them,
find the balance in between. Don't be the disengaged parent, but don't be the overly pushy parent to make them do something they're not even good at. So you have to find that balance in the middle and say, hey, these are your opportunities. This is what I see that you're good at. You tell me what you like, and then So I think that's it. So that's going to be it for our relationship tea segment. And I think that's going to be it for our show altogether. I want to thank everybody for supporting Bottom Line with Roni Byron. We hope you enjoyed the show. Look for us next week, and we will be here bringing you all the news in and around Jackson County. And remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth, and the light shines brighter when it shines for two. See you next week.